Okay, there we go. Just get everything set up here. Okay, let's see. I think we are streaming. Okay. Also, I'm gonna invite my other friend. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. So, we are going to get into it here. So, today, we're going to be continuing on here. So, we have our vocational skill down here. And so, if I last remember, we were trying to decide, what's this error giving us here? Okay, so this jag just wants us to give him a can user change level. So this is where things get interesting. So we need to control per different model we could receive what our basically what our view could do. So hey Oren. Apparently Tim's gonna hop in here in a second. So we are doing some fun stuff. So right now we're about to get deep into with some pattern matching stuff. So essentially what we're doing here right now, if you kind of use this thing over here for reference, we're doing these vocation skills under here. And there are different vocation skills that we can have. However, the problem is we need to break these up. So there's combat skills, weapon skills, magic skills, and vocational skills. So like a weapon skill would be like for your sword or whatever. A vocational skill would be like blacksmithing skill or anything related to your job that isn't magic or a weapon skill. And then magic skill is self-explanatory here. But right now, we have a larger type here. So we're implementing our safe stack implementation. The type we're using for, so we're implementing, if I scroll down here, we're implementing a vocation skill. And a vocation skill can be three things. It is either a vocational skill, a weapon skill, or a magic skill. And then what we're going to need to do with this is go ahead and depending, because right now we're implementing the logic for, if I go over here, for vocation skill, and we did a really good job of, hey, if you go ahead and I take in a vocation skill, which can be those three things, and you give me a message, depending on the message and the vocation skill, I'll do different things and I'll update things differently. That's all perfect. we need to actually decide here the view. So the problem is with the view now is that we need to call different views for each of these different vocations. So we're going to say let view, and actually before we do that, we're going to say open Feliz, get our UI library, open Feliz.bulma, and then we're going to go ahead here and do our view. So let view. Our view is going to take in two things. It's going to take in our model and our dispatch. And what we like to do here is, because this is just literally a wrapping around the vocational skill. So we can actually just use this UI here, and really all we're doing here is going to be doing some matching. So what we're going to do here is say match, and depending on my model, because remember our model would be a vocation skill, we're going to use the fact that it's an OR type with. So if we are given a vocational skill, then we are going to simply call vocational skill dot view, and we're going to give it now this guy's a little bit special. So vocational skill dot view, if I go to it, so this is where this is important. So a vocational skill dot view, he has a special thing going on here, and actually there's an error here. So skill, so this will be a good explanation here. So on kind of this markdown kind of representation, what we have here is a name, the skill level, and the dice pool. Here we have the name, the governing attributes, so what attributes govern this, the level, and then the dice pool. And you can see how these are basically identical, except for the fact that this one also has these governing attributes here. So what we're going to do, we want to pass down to, and we implement this thing called skill. And so skill is the base case. So skill is when it doesn't have anything in between here. But on skill, if I go back over to the skill view and take a peek at it, we can see skill view, it takes in a model, dispatch, and then it takes two other things. It takes can user change level and governing skill column. So you might ask, that's a little weird. Why does it take in all of that? Well, the reason is this. This skill thing is a building block. Sometimes we want to limit the user's ability to change a level. And so for instance, with a vocational skill, like if I'm a blacksmith and I'm a level like 3 blacksmith, okay? If I'm a level 3 blacksmith, then I can just say, hey, I have a smithing skill. And I don't need to pay any skill points to unlock that, because it's not combat, it's not magic or a weapon skill, so I don't need to spend any skill points. It's just based off of my job. Or, this is funny, so like let's say we're a programmer, right? My programmer vocation gives me the programming skill, or like the hacking skill, or whatever you want to call it. Right? And this guy will just inherit whatever the level of what kind of programmer he is. If he's a level 3 programmer, then he has a level 3 hacking skill. This only applies to vocational skills. It does not apply to combat skills and magic skills. Those you actually do have to spend skill points on, because we have to balance the game. So that's what this can user change level here. What we'd like to do is on our UI have it so that the user cannot change the level of a vocational skill. They can change the level of a combat or a magic skill, but not a vocational one. And then also here, so that's what that does right there. And then this governing skill column here, this guy is, if we look at the type here, it's a Fable React component, so it's a like piece of UI that we're going to jam in here. And what that lets us do is have one definition for skill here. And then when we want it to behave down here and we want it to have the governing skills here and represent that down below, we can just pass down whatever needs to go in that box, and it does. And that way we're not rewriting our components like 3 times. So now with that in mind, we can go over here to skill.view. And what we're going to do is pass in a couple things. So our skill.view, it needs a can user change the level? Well, for a vocational skill, and this is where it might behoove us to pass down a couple things. So this is cool. We want to pass down 2 things. The first thing we want to pass down is, so actually I want to go into here. We're gonna make this even better because we're gonna use some currying here. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap the order of these variables here so that the first or the second to last thing it needs to take in is the governing skill column. Because then what we can do, yes, and then what we can do, which is really nice, we can go over here to vocational skill, and here we are always saying that we're always passing in the governing skill for our vocation stuff. That absolutely makes sense. What we're gonna do is see, and then you see how now it's happy. So what we just did right there is we went ahead and this whole thing here is a React component. We're passing it into our view, and our view knows, hey, I just take this thing in and I plop this in the middle here, so you're one layer down, popping in and integrating into your UI below. That's awesome. Then we need to decide if the user can change their level. With the vocational skill, sometimes, and what's the problem here right now is that vocational skill, this UI, even though it's called vocational skill, we're going to be using it for all 3 things, so I'll end up renaming it here in a second. But we don't know if we want this to be able to do this. This is the base case. So actually, we need to take in another variable here, and just like skill, can user change level? We'll have to add that variable in. So can user change level? And then we can pass this here. Can user change level? And the nice thing is, if this gets too complicated, we can absolutely at some point break these up into their own separate components and not do this thing where we're passing down a boolean to decide how it operates. At this point, it's actually a really clever way to get around having to write extra code, but you could, especially if you had like, the second that you're having to extrapolate and have a bunch of different stuff coming down, then it makes sense. But 1 or 2 things is completely fine as long as it's the view and it's not like doing any logic. It's just passing down UI that it wants to display further below. So then, oh, you know what? I'm stupid. We do want it to be where this comes second, so I'm sorry. My bad. Alright, so everybody should be happy now. So essentially what we have here now is we have a vocational skill, or a vocation skill, and that's actually what this should be called. This should be vocation skill. Yeah, actually that's exactly what I should be doing. I'm being stupid. That's even better. I could, yeah. Okay, cool. So I just figured out something here. We can dramatically simplify our UI here. So we actually don't need to make a separate case for vocational skill. Because vocation skill here, he's handling the kind of breaking apart of these different messages that we can do. All we actually need to do Hold on. Well, here, we'll continue building, and then once I have it stable and it's running, then we can refactor it, and I can show you some really clever things to do. But we're going to continue forward. We have our vocational skill. All that looks good. Now what we want to do, up in vocation skill, for the vocational skill view here, we're going to pass in a couple things. So first thing, so we're going to pass down here. So we have a vocation skill right now. This view takes in, so I actually want to say here, vocation skill. So we're going to pass down our vocational skill. So if we're given a vocational skill, we run our view with it. We give it our dispatch. But we're going to do this clever thing where you use the piping chaining operator, I guess. It just appends two functions together. And we're going to say vocational skill message. We're going to hit it here with our dispatch. And then, let's see. And actually here, this is slightly wrong now. Because, in addition, a vocational skill also needs to be able to, if the user wants to change the governing attributes, it has to be able to change the governing attributes. So, we actually, okay, it's good that I did it this way then, because this actually is the correct way then. So we're going to have to go down to vocational skill here. We're going to say, hey, changed governing attribute. So the user changes the governing attributes. When the user changes the governing attributes, it is going to give us back, we're going to take back a list of attribute names. So we're going to say new attribute names. So like it'll give us back strength, reflex, or intelligence, or some combination of those. We'll take this. And so if you give me new attributes back, I'm going to say model with, and we're skill. Is skill what we want to interact with here? No. We want to do governing attribute names, and we're going to set that equal to new attribute names. Perfect, but something's angry here. We haven't defined it up here, so we're going to say changed governing attributes of, and this is going to, so if the user goes ahead and they change the governing attributes, then what's going to be dispatched back to us will be an attribute name list. And actually, and this will be a fun F# thing, so because we don't want repeats, we might not want to do a list here. So I think in F#, if I do F# sets, so I think we can use set just like I think we can use set just like, yeah, it's going to work just like a list. Perfect. That's even better. Because then what we're doing is we're saying, hey, there's no repeats in here. So it'll give us back a attribute name set. So then governing attribute names here, we actually need to go to our function for our definition of vocational skill. Which is going to be up here. And instead of a governing attribute names, we're going to say attribute name set. And now we're probably going to break a bunch of stuff now, but that's what we want. This should be a set because there should be no way for it, you can't have strength in here twice, right? So let's see who got pissed at us. So magic skill here, that's fine. That was already broken. That was already broken. So then here we would give this set.empty. Okay. And then let's see here. So calculate a vocational skill dice pool. I do want to refactor this. So it's angry because it's expecting an attribute name list. We're going to say this is an attribute name set. That's fine. We're trying to do list.collect here, but we want to do set.collect. Ooh, does set not have collect? That would suck. Ooh, does set not have collect? So it has fold. Of list. I guess set doesn't. Warren, if you're listening, does it make sense that a set couldn't collect? That's kind of weird. Like, doesn't it make any sense that it couldn't call collect on it? I mean, I can convert it to a list real quick and then just do what I need to do and then set it back, but like it has map. I'm just trying to think of like the technical reason why. I guess maybe because like by definition a set has some kind of context internally. I guess. I don't know. Okay. Well, I don't know if what I'm about to do is stupid though, but we'll go ahead and do it. So we're gonna do list.collect. And we're just gonna convert our set here. So we're just gonna do skill governing attribute names. We're gonna go ahead and give this list.collect or set.ofList or list.ofSet. Can I do of sequence? Perfect. So now he's not angry. And then so then what we're gonna do here is so this guy's gonna get pissed off because of course our model here is a set and this guy expects there to be, well, actually we can just rewrite this function for a set. Okay, damage types. Orin, if you're there, do you remember? Do you know why you wouldn't have a collect on a set, or why you wouldn't have flat map rather on a set? I don't know. That's just really kind of throwing me for a loop. I guess there's some kind of context it has. So we can say of. So what we're gonna do, take in our damage types. Or it doesn't have to be damage types. We shouldn't rename it here. So we're gonna call this string list. Yeah, like so in F sharp. So basically, I decided that I needed to use set for one of my variables instead of a list, and I was trying to collect across it, which is just flat map, and the implementation of set in F sharp, it doesn't have no, I'm saying you don't have it. So you can't call a set on, you can't call flat map on a set. And I'm wondering like why, because you can, it lets you map and stuff, but why couldn't you call flat map? And maybe the one reason I was thinking is that like because a set has some context of like it has to have, it can't have duplicates in it, and so it's not really an array that you can like collect over, but because like you could collect and try to jam two things together that maybe it's called differently. I don't think so, because like I'm looking here, these are all the things you can do on a set. Like there's reduces. Yeah, but isn't reduce like reduce isn't fold, right? So fold is to reduce as flat map is to map. So reduce is like the lower, he's the guy that isn't aware of the context. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Because you definitely do have reduce. So we got string list here. I just thought that was kind of strange. And we'll call this string set. So now I got this function. And then I can come over here to my vocational skill again. And then I can call this instead. And why are you angry now? No overload match for method text. Oh, is this not returning what I wanted to return? Yeah, this is returning a string sequence to a string. I gotta actually run this. Doopadoo. Oh, this is not working. What did I do? I accidentally screwed up here. There we go. Now everybody's happy. Okay, fix that error. Okay, let's see here. That's fine. That's fine. Where is why is this giving me an error? I shouldn't have magic skill anymore. Where's my proj? Where's my FS proj? it doesn't realize that that doesn't exist anymore. And then vocation, we can leave vocation for now. We're going to get to it. But we do have the ability here. So then what we do want to do is actually for this column now, we'd like to not just have this, we'd like an ability to change this. And this guy's going to need to be aware of the different attributes that could exist. So actually, this guy might also need to take down with him a list of the attributes. And we can look over here at our old project here to check. But like if I look at if I go over here and I look at, see, my old vocational skill is way more complicated. But we actually might end up doing this part here. So column. Oh hey, what's up, team? How you doing? Tim, I'm gonna teach you MVU. Have you ever done, here, I'm gonna grab some water. I'm still have my headset on, but I'm gonna teach you guys. I'm eating lamb right now, so life is good. That's awesome. Here, 1 second. I'm just gonna grab some water. Okay. So, what we're gonna be doing, so right now, right, we're building up this character sheet, Tim. I was looking, okay, so first for context, Tim, Oren and I were trying to figure out why the set, it's like a set in F sharp, doesn't have, you can't like do flat map on it. So if I try to do like set dot, it has all these things, like it has reduce, it has fold, or yeah, it doesn't have reduce. I'm sorry, Oren, fold is the lower tier one. Fold is like map. Yeah. But we couldn't figure out why set doesn't have collect. And then Oren here is saying, I was looking into this. You are right. Set does not support monadic maybe operators. It will make sense because it violates the monadic rules. I'm assuming like some of the monadic rule. Man, that's such a tongue twister. Monadic, like it's like a monad. Modadic. But that makes sense. It could be a cool exercise to see what it's violating. Yeah, I'm kind of curious here. Hold on. Can you flat map on a set? I know this really isn't the point of this stream. We're supposed to be doing F sharp, but well, we're just gonna move on with it. I'm sure. I think it's probably something to do with the fact that like, in a monadic set, that's what it is, monadic. In a monadic set, I don't think you probably can't. You can have duplicates, or in a monadic. Yeah, it would be a set. No, actually, no, it wouldn't be a set. Because a set in math, like in discrete mathematics, is where like you can't have duplicates, which is the whole point of a set. But I'm assuming that's why. I'm assuming that you can't map over a, or you can map over a set, maybe you can't collect over a set. Anyways, So what we're doing right now is we want to make it so that our UI here, when we change the governing attributes, so like over on this simple example here, so we want right now when somebody clicks into here, so they can click into this UI, and when it does, it's going to pop out and it's going to show them, hey, with like maybe like check boxes next to them, here are the different options you can assign to these skills. So as you're making these skills as part of your vocation, you could pop this out and click the ones you want. So that's what we're trying to do. And we are mainly gonna be, and actually, do we want to do that or do we want to go one level higher right now? No, I think we want to do this. So here in changed governing attributes, so Tim, if you don't know model view update, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but essentially our view down here is just some code that takes in our model and some other things, and he just shows us how things look. Our update function up here, he's the guy that actually is going to update our state. So depending on what messages we provide to him, he's going to change his state. And then I guess the model would be, in this case, our vocational skill. So model is just, if I can go to vocational skill. So a vocational skill is just one of the following. It's either that's a vocational skill. It's a skill and has governing attributes, and a skill underneath it is just a dice pool, a level, and a name. So kind of like how it exactly is laid out here, where you have a name, a level, and a dice pool. That's what a skill is. So what I want to do here is that whenever my changed governing attribute triggers here, it's going to set it. But now I need to make some clever UI. So this thing right here is actually a little, it'll be a little column within our UI, and this will get jammed in between. So you can see up here how like you have athletics, the level, and the dice pool. Down here it has this extra box. Instead of 4 across, instead of 3 across, it's 4 across. So that'll jam that thing in between there. I want to make it though so that this has some extra utility on it, where it'll pop out some UI displaying the different attributes and let the person click them. So I'm going to make another thing here called governing attributes toggle. This is going to take in our model. It is going to take in our dispatch, and it is also going to take in a set of attribute names. So attribute name set. Okay. And then what this guy's going to do, he is going to actually be returning this exact thing here, but with some slight modifications. So in this column, instead of just displaying the text with prop.text, we're going to be instead trying to pop out some UI. And now I actually did this. I did something like this similar. I don't know if it's good though. Let's see. So this would kind of be what I would need to implement. So let's read over this here. So within a column, you can call a drop down. And then within that drop down, you can call a drop down trigger. So that whenever the drop down is triggered, I guess this is the stuff that comes out. No, I'm sorry. So the drop down trigger here is what says, hey, whenever something triggers and changes, I do this. And the drop down menu. So here, let's do this. We want the internals here. So I'm going to grab this stuff, copy this over, and we're going to make this look. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like it when, I think it's kind of ugly when it's this kind of, you see it just kind of goes out forever here. We're going to try to make this prettier. Good column there. Why are you angry at me? There you go. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do, actually I can't really, I have to do it this way. I could break it out here, but let's just read this here. I just in general don't like it when it does this. I don't know about you guys. When it kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, but it kind of just, the flying V, I guess is what you'd call it. I can fix it. I can break it apart into more things if I want to. So, what we're gonna do, let's break this down. So, within our little column, it's saying Bulma dropdown. And what's really cool is if we need any help understanding what these things in, we can literally do Bulma dropdown, and it'll give us a UI example. Because, so this will be what kind of it looks like here for us. So, let me zoom in here. So the drop down is trigger. So drop down trigger here. This is the thing that it's tied to that if you interact with it. So this is if you click on the button. So if I click on this button here and it says here that the UI, yeah, so this is literally this button. When you click on this button, then this thing below here, the drop down menu is actually what displays out. Okay, so this is super simple. So this guy up here, the drop down trigger, he's the thing that if you click on it, stuff starts to happen. But then the drop down menu here is actually the stuff that's going to get showed. So what we want is that with the drop down trigger, good. And actually what's interesting here is that I think I have this backwards. If I'm looking over here, oh no, I'm sorry. So this is if you wanted to specify everything out here. What about if I wanted to give it a list? I think this is the way you do a list though. If you want the list, you have to provide it here in the HTML data list. So then, back over here, our combat vocational skills. So this will be the different skills that are pre-made. So these would be all of our weapon skills and stuff. So we will add that as well. Where did I do in this old one here? I want to see here. Because this is a vocational skill. Where am I handling? There's my dice pool. There was my level. Where's my attribute here? Man, I used to do this. It was so much more complicated. I'm glad I simplified it. Where is... Oh, man. This is when I used to do it to where... Yeah, I never made it so that it had its own... each skill could have its own governing attribute. I forgot about that. That is totally okay. We can just use this example here. So... we want this guy to take in the attribute set. So instead of having... So inner drop down, our trigger is going to be this input text. And the data list, so if we click the data list, it should toggle. I'm going to give it here the attribute name set. Now actually this should be a set. So we're going to say this is string set. And actually we're going to do this. We're going to say, hey, you need to become a list of, or a sequence. So we're going to convert this set to a list. Actually, let's just say this is a set. Because otherwise I don't know if it's going to infer that because the sequence is kind of ambiguous. Beautiful. Do, 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 do. Expects one type argument. Ah. Beautiful. So then this guy is a set. He needs to become a perfect. So very simply here, when the drop-down trigger happens, it's on this input. This input is a text field, so if you click the input, the thing below is going to pop out. The list is going to be whatever the combat vocational skill list is here, which is this thing. We actually will change the name of this. So this will be, instead of a combat vocational skill, this would be a governing attribute names, or name list. So then I can give this here. You just text it. Okay. And then instead, so that ties this data list that we're going to construct here to our input text. So this says, hey, this is the stuff you're going to be fed in. Then the default value is going to be whatever the current skill name is, which makes absolute sense. So that's what it'll display. And it won't be the skill name, because our model here will actually be model dot governing, because we're a vocational skill here. So model here, he's trying to figure out what he is. So model, you are a vocational skill. So that means model down here, dot governing attributes. Now, the problem here is this is a set. We need to convert this really quickly into a string. So we can actually just run do I have my string utils open here? I do have my string utils. I already made a function. It's called string set to string separated by commas. And actually, let me rename this here because I see a typo. So this will just go ahead, take that list of or set of attribute names and just separate them by a comma and a space. Okay, and then if any of this stuff changes here, what are we going to do? So if anything changes, we are going to go ahead here and call. And actually, you know what? I have an even better idea. Hold on. We want to look at vocation here. This is actually the way I want. The other way is also good, but this way was really cool. Yeah, actually, so I'm gonna do a mesh between the two. This is gonna be some really cool UI. So it's gonna look like an input. It's gonna look like an input field button, and when you click on it, it's gonna splay out all the attributes with little toggles on them, and then you click those, and then yeah. So that's what I want to do. Okay. Yes. So hold on. I can make this even better. We'll go back over here. This was all nice, but I don't want it now. I want something even better. So we have our drop down. Inside it, we can do a drop-down trigger. We can do a drop-down trigger, yep. And we'll wrap it down here. So drop-down. I don't think we have to do this thing where we do prop children here. I think this is a wasted step. Oh, no, I do because I have to say drop-down is hoverable. Okay. Fair enough. Then our Bulma drop-down trigger is going to be this button thing here, but this button is going to actually display, so we're going to give it here the value here of whatever our current mod, like what kind of attributes we selected. So we can do HTML span this. Nice. And then our drop-down menu here will just be attribute name, toggle governing attribute. We'll rename this here to toggle governing attributes. Okay. And then, so we got Bulma drop-down menu. It's going to go ahead and what we can do here to make this cleaner. All attribute names. So this will be what we feed down into here at the attribute set. So we don't want to do list.map, we want to do set.map. So set.map, this guy's peeved now. Because set.map here, what is set.map? He's an attribute named set. So we should be able to maybe create a smaller view function that can show button plus drop downs to any property. Oh, I could, and actually, to be honest, Oren, that's kind of what I'm doing right here. This isn't our main view. This is already a broken out one. I could probably break this down even more. I'm gonna solve it for this case first, but then I could do that. You're right. We're gonna do this though. We're gonna do set map. This guy's angry. Why? Because he's angry that it's a set and Bulma drop-down content expects a list. So can I just do a sequence? No. Why is it angry here? Let's just read it here. So this is a set, it maps it. It's trying to, because this is going to give us a set of Fable React elements. And I don't think we want this to be a set. I think this is gonna be a list at this point. So actually what we want to do is leave it list. Take our set, we're going to convert our set here into a list. We will see here. Hold on, I'm actually curious. What is the difference between toList and what's ofList do? View the given list as a sequence. Huh, I don't know what the difference between ofList and toList. They kind of sound like they do the same thing. Okay, well. our model here will be model dot. Yeah. So look here. There's sequence or sequence rather. You can't. I don't think you can do set dot of. Oh, you can. You can also do sequence, but it's the same problem. Sequence and set, because under the hood everything is a sequence, so it actually doesn't matter. But I will use the more correct. Let me solve these errors up here. Model. So if it is checked, so this guy here, I want to break this out again. And delete all this. So we're just doing some UI here. Let let drop down. You might be right. Sequence will always keep. Yeah. You do think so? Keep things more generic. I just want to figure out this problem here real quick. Model dot. So this is a function. What this guy should be doing is taking in the attribute names, and for each one it's creating an item. On click, it's going to so the old way to do this is clever. So I don't want to do this set here because I'm trying to toggle it. So then on toggle, actually what we're doing is, so if we call on toggle, then it needs to toggle. Actually, I don't like that. Yeah, this is the old way I did it. That I don't like. Too many booleans. It's unnecessary. That's wrong. We just want to return a new set. Yeah, that's better. But then here for our model here, each of our columns, I got all these checkboxes. Because what I'd like to do is take in a take in the list of attribute names or set of attribute names, display them to the user. The user can click which ones they want, and when they hit set on this, that's when it's going to set that UI. So actually what we'll do here is it won't be on this trigger here. So then because this will be the columns here. Why am I doing columns here? See, this is kind of gross. Yeah, I don't want this to do this on an item by item basis. Instead, I mean, I could. That's just like overly complicated. Yeah, it's funny when you like look at your old code and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why did I do it this way? Yeah, because here this used to be a toggle down, but I think the most elegant way to handle this would be, so the user, they click the thing, it drops down the menu. So it drops down the menu, and then the user gets to see, okay, here are the different things. They could then Oh, wait, I think I've done an even better way. I think I can handle this. Yeah, so what I can do is on the state be representing a list of attribute names, and then whenever the user toggles it in the UI, it dispatches with that attribute, because the user can only do one at a time, so they can dispatch with that attribute, and then it just checks, okay, is this in my set? If it is, remove it. If it's not, add it. That's what I'll do. That's even easier. Because otherwise I'm doing my logic down here, which is kind of stupid. So it'll just be an attribute name. So whenever the user clicks, it's going to send off that attribute name. You don't need to check if they are in the set. I will. I think I will need to check, because my idea is that the user is going to toggle the governing attribute. So like over here, kind of what it'll look like is like, you can imagine when they click on this UI, a kind of drop down comes out with like different rows, and it goes like check or checkbox strength, checkbox reflex, checkbox intelligence. And then when they click on the toggle on reflex or on intelligence or whatever, that's going to dispatch to the update, hey, go ahead and toggle, if strength right now is the governing attribute for the skill, remove it. If it wasn't, then add it. Is set list of unique elements? Is set a list of unique elements? Correct. A set, like I couldn't have, if I have a set of numbers, I couldn't have 1 and 1. I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I couldn't have 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's non-uniques. So what I'm going to do here is that's going to dispatch, and then the children here is checked. That looks good. So what happens if you add the same on 2 times? So you won't be able to add it twice, you'll be able to toggle it. So what's going to happen here is that I'll give this model dot and actually, so I need a function here that for the different columns, yes. So what I'm gonna, no, I mean just from the set perspective. You wouldn't be able to add it twice, because what's gonna happen is that when the user hits that toggle, like let's say the toggle is true right now, and they click it to false, on the state right now, the attribute exists in the pool. So in that set, it exists. When they click it to false, it dispatches. It doesn't even dispatch the Boolean. It just dispatches, hey, I toggled this attribute name. That goes up to the update function. The update function then goes, okay, they want me to toggle this thing. I look inside my set. Is strength in there? Oh, it is? Okay, I remove strength. We finished. If you got that strength thing and you looked in there and strength wasn't there, then you go, oh, okay, I'll add it now. And so you just add it or remove it, and that's the only 2 things you do. Yeah. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. And to be honest, I'm still thinking about this in my head. I think this is the best way to do it, though. That is for removing. It will need to remove it from the set. Yes, it will need to remove it from the set. But for heading, you can just add blindly. For heading, what do you mean heading? Oh, for adding? Yeah, hypothetically, I guess you're correct. As long as you check in one of your cases, you'll have to check no matter what. because we're not passing any additional context to this update function, right? All the function's going to get is an attribute name. So strength, reflex, or intelligence. It needs to check the set regardless to see if it exists, because whether it exists or not determines if it needs to add it or remove it. So no matter what, I'm going to check the set. I think. List.contains. Doopa-doopa-doo. So then, actually, this is even easier. So then our map here will, yes. So our map will actually be over the attribute set, and then it'll grab out an attribute name. So this isn't what exists on the set. This is the exist like so attribute set here is always all three. So it's whatever the game defines as all the attributes. And then my model.governing attributes, it only holds what are currently for this skill. So then what I can see, yeah, this is perfect. We do need to see, so this is backwards, I think. Because I think list contains, no, it takes in the value before that. Okay, I didn't know that. This is an attribute name. But it's a set right now. Okay. Which is fine. We can just wrap this and convert it. I am going to come back here at the end and just make this really pretty. Why are you angry now? The expression was not expected to have a name list, but was given a sequence. Oh, I have this backwards. And that's my problem down here too. Because I'm going from a sequence to a... There we go. Okay. So now we just need to handle the update logic. So, and again, all that's going on here is that we are on click, we're toggling the attribute name, and then the way we're representing it is that it's a bunch of, I don't know if I want columns. I'm gonna see how this looks once I launch it here, but I actually think that I want this to be, these to be rows, right? I think well, we'll see. So then what's going to happen is that it's going to show each of these little checkbox in front of it, and the checkbox is true or false depending on if the attribute name is in the model, and if it's not, then we don't have it checked, which is perfect. Okay, why am I getting an error in this file though? So now we actually have to handle the logic. So the logic's going to be really cool. So the logic will be our governing attribute names want to give this a function. So the function will take what? So he has the new attribute name, and it's only a name, new attribute name. So it's so he's going to be a, we're going to run a piece of code here. So it's a function that goes ahead and takes in an, actually, don't even need to do this. This is stupid. It's going to be, it's going to be some kind of map. Oh no, it'll be a collect. Or actually no, it'll be a find. No, it'll be a try find. So what we're gonna do here is say, hey, I wonder if set has try find. Set does not have try find. That's too bad. We can do, so what we'll do is we'll take in our model. We'll say, hey, model at our governing attribute names. We're gonna go ahead, convert this to a list dot try, or list of sequence. Then we're gonna go ahead and call try find on this. So list dot try find, and if I remember, try find will return an option of if it found something or not. So then what we can do with try find is feed it a function here, and the function here is the first thing I think it takes in is some t, and then it's going to give one out of Boolean value. So we have an attribute name, and then what we're going to do with this attribute name is we are going to check if this attribute name is equal to exists. You might be even more right, Oren. Let me see. Exists. Heck yeah. Tests if any element of the list satisfies the given predicate. Dude, that's perfect. And then it gives me, yeah, this works. Oh, it works on sets? Oh, that's perfect. Good call. Dude, that is exactly what I needed, Oren. So then all we need to do here is give it, that is way more efficient. So then we have set.exists. We're going to be taking in an attribute name. If I can capitalize this. And then what we're going to see, we're trying to check if sets are also are more efficient in searching. Yeah. So then what we're going to do, I wonder if they're more efficient because, like, depending on your data, like I can check, like if I'm searching for the string cat in a list of strings, then I have to check each element. But I could maybe more easily check if, like, hey, do any of these contain a C as their first letter? And then that could be kind of my, I don't know. Anyways, but we have an attribute name now. What we're going to do is check if attribute name equals our new attribute name. And so if it exists, in our code, then we get true here. So let's do a match. I'm just kind of flowing right now, but I don't think it's the most efficient. So does attribute exist? So if it does, we add it, else we remove it. So if can you what are you trying to do, Oren? You want me to hit the can you, is that ticks? Set.exists equal new attribute name. Can I do that? Let's see. Are you saying that I should write what you just wrote, or are you saying that you don't understand this line right here? Yes? Write it. Oh, okay. Let's see. So you just say set exists equal new attribute name. It does not work. No, you can't do that. I see what you're going for, though. Could you do trying Haskell things? I see what the notation there would mean. So does attribute exist? So if So if the attribute name exists, then, so if the attribute name exists, then we go ahead and do set.add, and I've actually never used set.add. So you give it a value and you give it the set. So the value would be new attribute name, and then we'd go ahead and give it the old set, which would be model, else okay. So let's take a look at this though. Can I make this any cleaner? So this is saying, hey, if we get a toggle governing attribute, take the new attribute that they sent with it, open up the model, and for the governing attributes, you're going to go ahead and check if on the governing attributes that you currently have, if the new attribute name exists. If it does exist, then you're going to go ahead and add it, or if it does exist, you're going to remove it. If it doesn't exist, then you add it. Okay. That all makes sense in my head, and the compiler is happy now. So, perfect. Now we're going to commit some stuff. So what did I kind of do here? I added oh, you know what's nice actually? With that code I just wrote, I'm going to reuse some of it. Added UI and logic for governing attributes on vocational. Cool. We don't need this. So then what we want to try to do is do vocational skill. So now, I think the whole reason we did that was so that so our vocational skill message now, it takes so our vocational skill message should actually take a vocational, so our vocation skill should take a vocational skill message. So actually this is wrong. Right? Yes. I do need to learn Haskell at some point, Ord. Alright, so now it's pissed at me about updating here, but that's okay because we actually I can simplify this a bunch now because let me see here. I don't need to break it apart like this anymore. Whoops. So I think I can just do it's all pissed at me now. So you need to go away. I have my message. All I need to do is say, hey, for my model, or actually no. I can literally just call the update. I can give it what it wants here, which is what? Why don't you understand what you are message? So this is going to give the update function here. Hold your horses, compiler. I need your help. I don't need you freaking out. So then I need a vocational skill dot update. I can give it here the message, and I can also give it here the model dot. Oh wait. No, I do. I had it right the first time. I'm just saving my step of having to unwrap stuff, but I do still need everything formatted the same way. Yeah, because what we're gonna do here is just for this part here, we are going to call vocational skill dot update, and now we're gonna give it the right stuff. Message. There we go. And so I just don't have to unwrap it every time here now. Oh, right. You think I don't need to match over the no, but I still want to deconstruct the message, because if I don't, then inside each of these I'm going to have to manually do it. So think about it. If you don't match over message here, then you only have this message here, but I need to pass it to vocational skill. So it needs to end up as one of these. So what I have to go do is make a function then that takes in this message and it maps it to one of these. You could just deconstruct once. You mean at the top? Like up here above match? You could do that. You could absolutely do that. And actually, I might end up doing that. Yeah, you could do up here. But then you have to make a function. Because you're still going to have to go make a function. Like, you're still going to have to do the... Like, I'm deconstructing it right here, but you're going to have to go do a function somewhere to deconstruct it. It is all the same for the same type, yeah. But think about it. In order to deconstruct it, I'm going to go have to write some code in a function that's going to deconstruct these. And when I go ahead and do that, I'm writing logic over there. I could just write the logic here. I think it's the same amount of work, actually. So then I want to do... I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'd have to deconstruct that message thing anyways and make a function that takes in type message and then brings it to a vocational skill message. And I think I'd just be repeating I'd have to do similar things here. But here it's kind of explicit, which is nice. And it helps with my, well, I can see both ways. And your way actually might be a little bit less lines of code. I can try to do it in a second here. Ooh, that's gross. You mean, yeah, you mean model? You could do model. I don't like it. Why is it formatting it like this? This is gross. Here, let's turn these off because I can't even. Why is he angry? Oh, right. So this guy's got to be special. Because this magic skill 1, he needs to return magic skill dot or with match model match the model oh you're gonna I'm assuming that's an oops. So then I got my magic skill here. So with my magic skill, everything else is staying the same, but my vocational skill is going to change. And then I can feed it the update here. Match on the model, and then so you could do that if it wasn't for this last case, because so the problem here is that if you look here, so that would work on, and it's too bad this is formatting this way, it's kind of ugly. So this first one, if it's a vocational skill message, you call the vocational skill update. If it's a weapon skill, you still call the same update on it, but you just wrap it differently at the end. But if it's a magic skill message, you get out the magic skill, because each of these other ones, under the hood, they actually are vocational skills. The magic skill is a vocational skill and some other stuff. So you have to, I don't know if your approach there, because you can't just call the vocational skill update on everything. You have to set it differently at the end. Like, because of right here. Why is this guy angry? It's okay. You just didn't have the context. Why is this guy angry now? Hold on. Why are you behaving this way, sir? Okay, so now everybody's happy here. So then what we need to do is, so now that we have our logic handled, so if we have all this handled, we do need to have a view. So on our model, so if we are a vocational skill, then we can do the vocational skill. The difference being here, can user change level? The user cannot change the level on this. So can the user change the level? They cannot. So then this will just be false. Then we have the two other ones where we have a weapon skill. And if it's a weapon skill, then we can call the vocational skill update, or a view rather. We can give it the vocation skill. We can give it the vocational skill message. We can pipe it to dispatch. But we are going, and actually, no, it has to be this way. Okay. This one's true though. Because this guy is gonna, his view is able to change. This guy, you can't change the level, the user can't. You have to change something else in order to change it. The weapon skill, you can change it. And then last but not least, we have the magic skill. So the magic skill is actually a magic skill. And so for this guy, my view will be the same, but I will take a magic skill dot vocation skill. I will give it the same thing, and I will give it true. Alrighty. I believe vocation skill, and that is some dense logic right there. Oh. Added or fixed UI for vocation skill. I will need to add one more thing here though. The vocation, so over here, we talked about this before. So like if somebody is interacting with their UI here and they change their programmer vocation to a 4, like that, then when that happens, any vocational skill underneath it, i.e. not a weapon skill and not a magic skill, that should get updated with it. So I do need one more message here. And it is going to be called vocation or just set level. Set skill level of -1 to 5. Hey Oren, if you're still on, do you want to go to the gym later? We want to give this the -1 to 5. And then down here, okay, you're good. So then set skill level, we're gonna give this a, what do we have here? We have a -1 to 5. And what do we want to do? If we get this guy, then we are going to call an update function but we need to be able to do this on the vocational skill. So I gotta go to vocational skill first and get a set skill level. Okay, we need to go ahead and give this the model here. Do our vocational skill update. Set skill level. We give it neg. New skill level. Ooh, this sucks. Ooh, this kind of sucks. Because the problem is here, I have to digest these. This sucks. Gross. Wait a second, hold on. Because they all take vocational skill messages. So then they also work with my... This kind of sucks. I don't want to deconstruct these if I don't have to, but I have to set the skill for these various ones, and I think that's just what I have to do here. I think I have to deconstruct each of these and set it manually here. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. Match model with... So if it's a vocational skill, then this blows. This blows. But it's good that I'm having to do it because like this is the right way to do it. So then if it's a vocational skill, then I just go ahead and give it one of these vocational skill. And why is this angry? Oh, I need to just give it one of of these underscores here, so it just disregards that. Okay. With so vocational skill has skill dot level equal to new skill level. And then I need to, at the end of this, pipe this into okay. Okay. Weapon skill. And actually what's nice here is that can I do this? No, I can't. Dang it. I have to do it. Actually, I can copy most of this, but I have to redo it here. Because at the end here, I need to write it out differently. So this will be weapon skill. Last but not least, got magic skill. Why is this guy angry? What is wrong here? Oh, I'm freaking stupid. Okay. And then last but not least, magic skill. We get out a magic skill. And then we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and magic skill dot with skill, vocational skill, or no. With, no, it is vocational skill dot level and actually this entire time where I'm setting it to new skill level, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, Jack, you idiot. I'm dumb. I'm officially dumb. I don't need to be doing any of this. I can just call, because I have a vocational skill, I can just do down here vocational skill dot update, and then I can set it with the set skill level, feed it the new skill level, and then I can just give it the current vocation skill. Yeah. That's the correct way to do it. Except for this last one. This last one absolutely will need because it needs to be the one below, so it needs to be... Okay. Ooh. Right, this guy does need to be a little bit different. So I actually need to do... Yes. Alrighty, so now I laid the groundwork where I can update, I can call this set skill level, and he knows how to set each of these individual skill levels beneath him. Okay, cool. Added set skill level logic. Okay, so now we have our vocational skill. We can then, so we have vocation skill. So we have that set. The next thing we can go ahead and do is one layer higher up from that, we can go ahead and implement a simple list. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll model it after the core skill list here. But essentially this just handles the mapping of the dispatches down. It's really simple. So like all I do is I just say module vocation list. I'm gonna need the vocation stuff. I need type message. And my message is going to be what? We are going to have a modified modified. Ooh, so do I want to have modified vocation at position? Oh wait, hold on. I'm doing this in the wrong order. I have a vocation skill. I need to have a vocation skill list. Doop-doo. Okay, module vocation skill list. We can say open Fogent roleplay lib type message is going to equal a what? What do we have here? Modified vocation skill at position of integer and we're going to give it a vocation skill dot message. Let init. We're not going to worry about init right now. We're going to worry about init at the end, but we'll do this. Function that takes an index and a core skill. Well, it's not a core skill now, it's a vocation skill. And what is it going to do with that guy? It's going to take it and if the index ever equals the position that was sent to be changed, then what do we do? We call an update, so we say vocation skill dot update. We give it the message and we give it the core skill or vocation skill. Else we just return model or the vocation skill, and then that's good. And then we just need one more function here that's going to handle if we need to calculate dice pools. Why do you need position? So I think you can definitely do set here, and actually that honestly might be the best idea, because you wouldn't want somebody to be able to add the same skill multiple times. However, in terms of the position, you absolutely do need it. So what's here? Let's break this down here. Here, let's use this already done example. So what this update function is doing, so this is called a core skill list, okay? So it's core skill list. If I go over to the example, so you see how like there's athletics, climb, endurance, lift, how that's a list? So it's a core skill list, so there's multiple things. So whenever dispatch comes, whenever the update function tries to call down here, this is actually, I'm never calling this. This position is actually for the update function at the top. Because what's going to happen down here is in the view down here, if you look, when the user says, hey, I want to modify, actually, so yeah, Oren, you could do, if you did a set, you could also do, instead of looking at a position, you could also look at a core skill, and then you could find it in the set. That is another way you could do it. I actually almost even like that better. But basically, exactly, look up by name. Yep. This way is also like, actually here, if the name is unique. If it's a set, ooh, see, I don't know if that would work because, so think about it. Could somebody make, now this is behavior I don't want, so like we can talk about it, but like I wouldn't want the, like let's say with let's look at your character, Orin. So when we had Nivix, right? So here we have Blazecraft, Minecraft, and Polycraft. I would prefer not to give you the option to add like Blazecraft multiple times under the same vocation. So I could make it a set, but the problem is I think the way that I don't know how a set of I actually don't know how a set of objects in F sharp, if it does like comparison by address. I know in F sharp that when you do like, is this object equal to this object? It's not looking at if it's in the same memory. It's just looking if the object is the same. So So no set dictionary. Yeah, dictionary could work. A dictionary could very well work. Yeah, a dictionary would absolutely work. I don't think there are dictionary. Well, it's just called map. I actually really like that, Orin. That gives you exactly what you want, kind of. Well, it doesn't. No, that should be fine. I don't know though, like, if you look at this, because they're accomplishing the same things, right? This is kind of elegant. Where it just... Yeah, but like, that dictionary thing is like cool, but like, that's effectively what this is doing here. I mean, I'm basically creating a dictionary here. I'm just, my index is my index into the dictionary, or is my key into the dictionary. Because it's just mapping here, it's mapping the UI, and then for each one of these, it's giving an index, and then in the corresponding dispatch that's going to get called for a message in here, it just loads in that index so it knows where it came from. I'm going to look into that at some point, though, because actually that might be cleaner. But this is also pretty clean. I mean, it's literally giving the unique... It's giving each... But index is something that does not have a lot of meaning. It definitely has a lot of meaning to what's in here. Because it's literally its position in the list. Like, think about it. It's literally... If, I do agree with you that if you did it by a dictionary... Technically, if you were like looking at it in a debugger, it would give you. I use it. I use it up here, right here. I do care about it, but I don't. I think what your point is like if you were like looking at the state change, from like just like this. True, but I mean, in this case here, yeah. So like your point is that it doesn't like mean anything inside the game, and in that way you are correct. You're right. Like I actually think that this like the dictionary way of doing it is gonna be the better way to do it. I just kind of want to get this running, but I definitely like. I actually do agree with you that that probably is the best because like you can think about it if you're debugging it later on the line, it would be way nicer if you're like trying to debug and you're looking at the state of like these core skills and vocation skill lists to be able to see, oh, when they were saying what thing two was update, you know, position two, what it actually did was update athletics or lift or whatever. So in that respect, I think you're right. I mean, we can try it out here. Let's see how hard it is. I'm voting for a tuple of name and the rest of the properties. Mm, I don't know if I like that though. The only reason I say that is because so like so would rest of properties contain because actually I think the best way to do it is like name as the key and then the entire object as the value. But I think what you're saying is name is the key and then everything but name is the value. Right? I would kind of repeat name. I would want to repeat name. Because I would prefer not to change the structure of the type. Because, like, if you look at skill, when you're defining a skill literally has a, hi Schmeagle. Unless you're saying make a type, here, hold on. We got a friendo here. Schmeagle. Look who we got. Look who we got here. Schmeagle, say hi to the camera. Schmeagle's on television. Skill should be able to be defined without a name, in my opinion. Might be reused a lot more. I don't know when you would ever have a skill that doesn't have a name. Can you give me an instance where a skill wouldn't have a name? Well, anyways, we'll I see your point though. I think we might finish up doing this with just using position. Well, it's just for function that might need to calculate skill properties only. Easy to give to them. I see your point. I see your point. What if in order to calculate a dice pool, I need to know what my skill name is because I have to look across the rest of my character to see if there's any items that affect that skill? But then I guess you could say, couldn't you just do that before you throw it into the big calculate function? I see your point. I definitely see your point. Give it as the tuples. I in general, I think. Oh, who just texted me? I think we'll leave it this way for right now. Okay, so we're gonna proceed ahead as it is, but honestly, Oren, you make some good cases for th- it's kind of like the minutia at that point, but I actually kind of like the minutia. We'll finish like as it is right now is completely adequate and it's still very functional, but I will consider in the future decoupling because then you could have like skill stat and like skill stat could be everything but the skill name, and then you could have skill name which you could actually represent a skill as of a tuple of a skill name and a skill stat. So I'll look at that in the future. I don't think there's a ton of no. I honestly let me think about it some more before I refactor my entire code base because I'll have to do it in two places. And I'm like desperately like can you see what I'm doing here? I'm like trying to fight my way up to character here. The second we get character working, I can actually show something on stream. I had it working yesterday where you could actually run .NET and you could actually see what happens, but right now we can't. We're buried underneath. We're buried underneath here. Well, don't worry. Here, I'll even do this. We're gonna add a new file here called to do refactor core skill or skill lists to be a tuple of everything with index. What do you mean everything with index? Or are you saying that's what I'm doing? There's nothing wrong with index here. There's nothing wrong. It's technically, and technically all we're doing here with name, refactor everything with index. Refactor everything with index? Oh god. No. What do you mean refactor everything? Like, is it like, you mean like what I'm doing with index with the index of a number? Oh. No. No. We'll try to do it the way that you're talking. I think it makes more sense, but we're just not doing it right now because I'm so freaking close. I just want to show something. Okay, so we have we're fighting our whips. Well, the beautiful thing is like because it'll be so decoupled, I will easily be able to I'll easily be able to do what's it called? That makes sense, just joking. I know you are. You are totally good. We need to do this. We need to do this. I do love though, like since I've there's something about rebuilding something when you kind of built it once and you kind of like didn't get all the way through, but you built a good chunk of it. You're I know you're Don't worry, I'll do it. I'll do it later. I just want to show something. Oh, Spiegel just farted. Oh, dude. My eyes are tearing up and we're coding still. We're coding through the fart. Dude, you stink. He's sitting in my lap right now. Oh, bro just gas bombed me. Okay. Oh man, I just had deja vu. Do you ever get deja vu coding? I sit at this one table and do so much stuff here. Like most 99% of my deja vus occur at my desk. Hot take. Why is this guy getting angry at me? The expression was expected to have type. Am I not? Oh. I got it. Frickin' parentheses, man. Okay, so with this, hold on, I gotta put this Schmeagle down. He's like laying on my legs right now, and it's just cutting off the circulation in my legs. I know, Schmeagle, don't worry. We're gonna go on a nice long walk in a minute here. Over there. Okay. Okay. Let's keep going. How many errors we got now? Fixed. Oh, here, let's before we commit this, let's at least finish the view. And we can actually look at a core skill list here. And actually, what did I do over here for my core skill, or for a... See, I didn't even make its own breakout over here. I just like jammed it in here. Oh, also, I do want a button here that will be for adding in good catch. Good catch. Okay, so what we'll do here, I want this guy. Because what I want here, let equal Okay, so we do want an unordered list here. List.append. It's going to take in this function here that is going to display these various skill rows. We don't need any of this crap now. Man, I'm so happy now. My old code was like my old freaking update functions were gross. Hold on here. Don't need this anymore. Don't need this. So let's go give this guy a little bit of context so he can help figure himself out here. So this is going to be our vocation, skill, or then that's that. And actually, can we just do dot vel? Then we can put this over here. I just gotta figure out why this isn't working. Why is this not happy? For each position and each skill row. So it isn't, that's what it is. Boom. Position. Oh, does it not know to? That would help if it knew its type. This is stupid. So these make sense because I don't have these buttons yet, so I completely understand this. It takes a list of iReact properties. Isn't that what this is, though? I don't think this thing's finishing here, so hold on. Map I, vocation skill, it calls the old view. Ah, this is can user change level. So for okay, I'm stupid. There we go. Because now we're a vocation skill. And now we give this. Do I want to give this a... Dude just formatted it in the weirdest way I've ever seen. Okay, hold on. We are making progress. There's something... Okay, then it's something over here with this. So this one's a function that takes in a message. The function takes in too many arguments. So view should only take in... I'm sorry, view here is never getting... View has this, but view is never getting its models. If I do... Model, or not model, it would be skill row here. Oh wait, this is backwards, so it does model first, then... Yeah, that's right, I'm stupid. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Wait, what? Skill row. Modified at position, then this is expecting a function that takes in, this function is expecting F-type unit. Ah, we need to wrap this. And this. No? I am mucho confusoed. Because the dispatch expects a function that takes in a message and returns. You know what? What did I have over? Oh, you know what? It's this. Yep. And then this expression was expected to have type vocational skill message, but here it has vocation skill message. Message here is coming from. So it just doesn't understand what it is here. No, it does. Okay. So it does understand. It just modified vocation, position, dispatch. I think it's only this message here right now. But I think you're right, I can simplify that. This expression was expected to have type vocational skill message. Why? Let's go. There's something wrong with my view over here. Oh, wait. No? No message? Oh, you're right. No, oh no, it's this. Fixed. But I think you're right. I can't do it with the message thing here because message will get piped through. So if message is... Yeah, so I can just do position. So hold on, let me commit this, and then I'll try your changes. Fixed. Vocation skill list. So then if I get rid of the message here, and then I just do this. I don't here. Oh wait, I'm being stupid. I gotta remove this up here. So I don't think that'll work, Orin, because this guy takes in a tuple. So you have to create another function around it. Because you're basically manufacturing a tuple, like you're manufacturing a function that takes in the message. I don't think you can just use piping operators or whatever it's called, bind or whatever, and bind two functions together and make it work. Because you need to create a function that takes in a message and returns unit. And right here, because this is an int and a vocation skill message, we have to feed both of those at once as a tuple. So I don't think that'll work. Okay, Schmeagle. Good boy. Good boy. It's really ugly though. I don't like the look of it. I'll have to fix this later. Okay, so we have this working now. We do have an error somewhere in here. Or no. Do I have an error in here? I do. Message here. Ow, bro. Just whacked me with your ear. What am I doing here? Does vocational skill not have the calculate thing set up on it? It's not. Okay. We gotta set that up too. Hi, Schmeagle. Good dog. Good dog. What are you doing? You sniffing me? Jeez. Jeez. No, Schmeagle. Not right now. In a minute. Okay. I need to make another thing here that knows how to calculate dice pools. And then we want to call the update on each of these. And then convert it back. So what we can do here is we can steal the majority of this. But instead of calling this update, we're going to call calculate dice pool, and then for each of these we're going to give it the dice pool calculation data. Okay. Hmm. This guy here. Why are you fighting back? Because you don't exist. And the only thing I have here is a magic skill. And then that has that. Okay. Cool. We have the ability to calculate dice pool and to set dice pools. Perfection. So now we can go up to our vocation skill list. And then for our calculate dice pool here, it should actually work now. Yep. Alrighty. So then, let's commit this stuff. So, is vocation skill list done? I think it is, aside from adding stuff. We'll do that in a second. I'm going to be right back. I have got to use the restroom. BRB. Okay. Okay. Now. Whew. I do want to get a vocation working. I'm just a little bit like tired. I've been grinding today on this. It's been good. Hmm. Actually, you know what? Why don't we just take a break? I'm gonna run to the gym. Oren, Oren or Tim, who's still online? Whoever it is, I'm gonna probably end the stream here and run on over to the YMCA and get a swim in. Here, Schmeagle, say bye to the stream though. Come here, Schmeagle. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Say bye. Say bye. Okay. Ugh. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.